Out of nowhere, without any warning or indication, colossal, city-sized guns begin to materialize on every major human colony and space station scattered across the solar system. These gigantic structures, towering over the landscape, dwarfing even the tallest buildings, appear as if they have always been there, seamlessly integrated into the environment yet entirely alien in their design. Their sheer size is overwhelming, vast enough to cover entire city blocks, their barrels extending into the sky like mechanical monoliths aimed at the heavens. The appearance of these massive weapons sends shockwaves through the human population. On Mars, the first sighting causes immediate panic. Residents of the Martian colony, New Olympus, awaken to find a giant cannon standing on the outskirts of their city, its shadow stretching for miles. The Martian surface, normally a desolate, rust-colored expanse, is now dominated by this enormous metallic structure, its surface gleaming ominously under the pale sunlight. As word spreads, similar reports flood in from other colonies and space stations, each one describing the sudden presence of these enormous guns, identical in their impossible scale but varied in their design, as though they were tailored specifically for the environment they inhabit. On the Moon, a gun appears embedded within the lunar soil near the Armstrong base, its massive foundation stretching deep underground, as if it has been rooted there for centuries. The gun's sleek, silver surface contrasts sharply with the barren, dusty landscape, giving the eerie impression of a foreign object forcibly implanted into the lunar terrain. Meanwhile, on the Jovian moon of Ganymede, a gun emerges from beneath the icy surface, its immense barrel cutting through the ice like a frozen river of steel, pointed directly at Jupiter's swirling storms. Each gun is a marvel of unknown engineering, constructed from materials not found in any human database, their inner workings completely alien. There are no visible signs of construction, no records of deliveries or the arrival of any ships that could have brought these behemoths. It's as if they simply appeared overnight, fully formed, with no trace of how they were built or who might have built them. The sensors and scanners of every major space station and planetary colony are baffled. They detect no life forms, no energy signatures that would indicate activity or communication, only the silent, towering presence of these massive weapons. As more of these structures are discovered, a palpable sense of unease spreads throughout the human colonies. The guns are unlike anything humanity has ever encountered, both in their sheer scale and in the mystery surrounding their purpose. Scientists and military officials scramble to understand the nature of these weapons, but their efforts yield few answers. The guns remain dormant, their massive barrels pointed outward into the void of space, as if waiting for a signal, a target, or a command that no one knows how to give. Speculation runs rampant. Conspiracy theories flood the networks, ranging from the plausible to the absurd. Some suggest that the guns are a prelude to an alien invasion, left behind by an advanced species that plans to use them to subjugate humanity. Others believe the guns are a doomsday device, designed to trigger a catastrophic event that will wipe out entire planets. There are those who argue that the guns are a protective measure, activated by an ancient, unknown civilization to guard against a cosmic threat. Yet, with no definitive answers, fear continues to grow. Governments across the solar system declare states of emergency. Military forces are mobilized, but with no clear enemy to confront, they can do little more than watch and wait. The gun's presence is a constant, oppressive reminder that something is coming, something beyond human understanding or control. Every colony and space station is gripped by an unsettling mix of dread and curiosity, as the true purpose of these colossal weapons remains an enigma. As panic spreads like wildfire through the colonies, the colossal weapons, these silent giants, loom over the cities and stations, casting long, foreboding shadows that seem to grow darker with each passing day. The fear is palpable, a living thing that seeps into every corner of human society. People glance nervously at the sky, wary of the massive barrels pointed out into space, their presence an ever-present reminder of the unknown threat hanging over them. Despite the overwhelming anxiety and speculation, the guns remain ominously silent, their massive forms inactive, yet their mere existence is a constant, silent assertion of power. Every attempt to communicate with or interact with the weapons ends in failure. Teams of engineers and scientists, the best minds humanity has to offer, approach the guns with trepidation, armed with the latest in cutting-edge technology and knowledge. They examine the structures, scanning them with every available tool, probing for weaknesses, deciphering the alien materials from which they are constructed. But the weapons offer no clues, no openings, no signs of activity. They are inert, inscrutable monoliths, resisting every attempt to unlock their secrets. The silence of these colossal weapons is almost deafening, a stark contrast to the chaos they have instigated across human outposts in the solar system. Yet, as silent as they are, the weapons radiate an unsettling aura of readiness. There's a sense that beneath their dormant exteriors lies a power beyond human comprehension, an advanced technology that defies everything known about weaponry. The very materials they are composed of are beyond the scope of human science, impervious to all attempts at analysis. The alloys, the circuitry, everything about these guns hints at a civilization far more advanced, far older, and far more dangerous than anything humanity has ever encountered. Their sleek surfaces, devoid of seams or rivets, suggest a method of construction that humanity can't even begin to fathom. The weapon's advanced technology is evident in every detail: their perfect, geometric precision, the way they seem to merge seamlessly with the surrounding landscape or structure, as if they've grown organically from the very fabric of the colonies themselves. Despite their immense size, they exhibit a level of sophistication that is at once beautiful and terrifying. There are no visible power sources, no connections to the infrastructure of the colonies, yet they seem to hum with a latent energy, a hidden potential just waiting to be unleashed. The world's brightest minds are stumped. Military strategists, engineers, and scientists work around the clock, poring over data, running simulations, trying to reverse engineer the technology. But the weapons remain an impenetrable enigma. Their true purpose, the reason for their sudden appearance, is a puzzle that no one has been able to solve. Theories abound, but none can be proven. Are they defensive weapons, activated by some ancient fail-safe to protect against an imminent threat? Or are they offensive, meant to destroy something or someone within or beyond the solar system? The uncertainty only heightens the collective anxiety, as every second ticks by with the guns remaining ominously inactive, yet somehow always on the verge of activation. In the midst of this growing panic and confusion stands Captain Laura Hayes, a seasoned officer tasked with the impossible job of uncovering the truth behind these monumental weapons. Laura is a pragmatic and level-headed leader, but even she feels the weight of the situation pressing down on her. The responsibility of safeguarding her colony and, possibly, all of humanity falls heavily on her shoulders. With each passing day, the pressure intensifies as more reports of the gun's mysterious presence come in from every corner of the solar system. Laura approaches the problem with the rigor and discipline that has served her well in her military career, but the usual methods yield nothing. The usual protocols, the standard operating procedures, none of it applies here. This is something beyond human experience, something that requires a leap of intuition, of imagination, beyond the known limits of human knowledge. As she delves deeper into the mystery, Laura is acutely aware that time is running out. The gun's silent presence is not something that can be ignored, and she knows that the longer they remain a mystery, the greater the risk becomes. The atmosphere around her grows more tense by the day. The once orderly and disciplined ranks of her team are beginning to fray under the pressure. People are scared, and when people are scared, they start making mistakes. They start seeing threats where there are none, or worse, missing the real threats entirely. Laura has to keep them focused, has to keep them from descending into the same panic that is spreading through the civilian population like a virus. But even as she tries to maintain control, she feels the gnawing uncertainty in her own mind. Laura knows that this is more than just a mystery to solve. The presence of these weapons could mean life or death for millions of people. It's not just about understanding what they are, but why they are here and what will happen next. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the weight of the unknown bears down on her as she leads the investigation, knowing that every second counts. Just as the tension reaches its unbearable peak, when every person across the colonies and space stations is holding their breath, dreading what might come next, the guns, those colossal, silent sentinels, spring to life in an instant. The shift is so sudden, so jarring, that it takes everyone by surprise. One moment, the weapons are inert, their massive forms looming in quiet menace, and the next, they are alive with energy, their systems humming with a power that reverberates through the ground, the air, the very fabric of the space stations. The atmosphere crackles with an intense, almost electric anticipation, as if the air itself is holding its breath alongside the people below. The transformation is immediate and unmistakable. Lights begin to pulse along the length of the guns, a series of glowing lines and symbols that no one can decipher, yet they clearly indicate activity, intention. The colossal barrels, once pointed aimlessly into the void, now pivot with a precision and speed that belies their enormous size, locking onto a single, mysterious point in deep space. It's as if the guns have received a command, some kind of signal or directive, and are now responding with the urgency and purpose of a well-oiled machine. The sight is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Across the solar system, every human outpost witnesses the same sequence of events. On Mars, the Martian gun that has stood silent and foreboding on the horizon suddenly comes to life, its massive barrel rotating smoothly as it aligns with the same distant point in the stars. On the Moon, the gun near Armstrong Base hums with a deep, resonant vibration that shakes the lunar surface, sending tremors through the base and causing dust to rise in swirling clouds around the towering structure. In the outer reaches, on Ganymede, the ice around the embedded cannon cracks and fractures as the weapon powers up, glowing with an intense inner light that cuts through the icy landscape like a beacon. This is no random activation, it's a coordinated effort, a synchronized movement that suggests a higher level of intelligence and design behind these weapons. Every gun, from the smallest outpost on a distant asteroid to the largest colony on Mars, is locked onto the same point in space, their barrels perfectly aligned, as if they are part of a single, unified system. The energy emanating from them builds to a crescendo, a low, throbbing hum that resonates through every colony and space station, growing louder and more intense until it reaches a fever pitch. The tension is unbearable, the air is thick with fear and anticipation as everyone waits for the inevitable, for whatever comes next. Then, without warning, the guns fire. In a blinding flash of light, beams of devastating energy shoot out from each weapon, converging on the same distant point in deep space. The beams are impossibly bright, their intensity beyond anything humanity has ever witnessed. The energy they unleash is staggering, enough to light up the night skies on every planet and moon across the solar system. The beams travel at incomprehensible speeds, cutting through the vast emptiness of space with pinpoint accuracy, as if they were guided by some unseen hand. The sheer power behind these blasts is overwhelming, a display of force so immense that it leaves no doubt as to the capability of these weapons. As the energy beams streak across the solar system, their path unerring and true, a sense of dread mingles with awe. What could possibly warrant such a massive display of firepower? What target lies at the end of those beams? The silence that follows the firing is even more intense than before, a stark contrast to the deafening roar of the guns as they unleashed their energy. The beams are visible for what seems like an eternity, a blazing trail across the cosmos, leading to a point so far beyond human reach that it seems almost impossible. The synchronized attack reveals more than just the overwhelming power of these weapons. It unveils a hidden truth, something ancient and deeply embedded in the very fabric of the solar system. The guns were not random anomalies or unexplained phenomena. They were part of a defense network, a system of protection that has lain dormant for untold millennia, waiting for this very moment. The precision of the attack, the coordination of the beams, all point to a design far beyond human capability, something built by a civilization whose knowledge and power eclipsed anything humanity has ever achieved. As the beams continue their journey through space, the realization dawns that these guns were not meant for human hands. They are relics of an ancient time, a time when the solar system was not as it is now, a time when threats from beyond the stars were real and ever-present. The beams travel farther and farther from their points of origin, each one a testament to the advanced technology and the foresight of the builders who left these weapons behind. The solar system, it seems, was never left undefended. It was simply waiting, lying in wait for the moment when it would need to defend itself once again. As the colossal guns unleash their devastating energy beams into the vastness of space, the truth begins to unfold like a dark, ancient tapestry that has been hidden from human eyes for millennia. The sheer power of the synchronized attack, the precision with which the guns targeted that distant point in space, suggests a design and purpose far beyond anything humanity has ever encountered. The weapons, which initially seemed like enigmatic and isolated phenomena, now reveal themselves to be the remnants of something much greater, a relic of an ancient civilization, long lost to the annals of time, that once faced a threat so dire it demanded the creation of these titanic instruments of destruction. As scientists and historians race to uncover the origins of these weapons, piecing together clues from the remnants of the guns themselves and ancient artifacts scattered across the solar system, a chilling narrative begins to emerge. The guns, it seems, are the last vestiges of a civilization that once thrived in the distant reaches of the galaxy, a civilization whose achievements and technological prowess were unmatched, even by the standards of modern humanity. This was a people who had reached the pinnacle of their advancement, exploring the farthest corners of space, unraveling the deepest mysteries of the universe, and bending the very laws of physics to their will. But with such knowledge and power came the inevitable encounter with something far beyond their control, an ancient cosmic menace, a force of unimaginable destruction that swept through the galaxy like a dark storm, leaving nothing but ruin in its wake. This enemy, whatever it was, defied comprehension. It was not just a physical threat, but a cosmic terror that threatened to unravel the very fabric of reality. The ancient civilization, recognizing the existential danger posed by this menace, marshaled all of its resources and knowledge to build the ultimate defense, a network of colossal guns designed to hold the line against this unstoppable force. These guns, spread across strategic points within the solar system and beyond, were their last hope, their final stand against an enemy that could not be defeated by conventional means. Each gun was a marvel of engineering, imbued with technology that far surpassed anything humanity has ever developed. They were powered by energy sources that drew from the very core of planets, their barrels crafted from materials that could withstand the intense forces of the cosmos. The civilization's best minds worked tirelessly to perfect these weapons, knowing that they were humanity's last line of defense against a fate worse than extinction. But despite their efforts, the ancient civilization was eventually overwhelmed. The cosmic menace, relentless and merciless, tore through their defenses, leaving their worlds in ruins. The guns, their final act of defiance, were left behind as a grim reminder of the battle that was fought and lost. The civilization itself vanished, its people wiped from existence, their cities and knowledge buried beneath the sands of time. All that remained were these silent sentinels, standing guard over a solar system that had long since forgotten the horrors they were meant to defend against. As humanity delves deeper into the mystery, they uncover traces of the civilization's last days, cryptic records, fragmented data, and ruined structures on distant moons and asteroids, all pointing to a desperate, all-consuming war against an enemy that could not be stopped. The realization is as sobering as it is terrifying. The guns were not meant for human hands, but were a last-ditch effort by a dying civilization to hold back the darkness. They were built to fire at a precise moment, at a specific threat that only now, after countless millennia, has returned to the galaxy. The firing of the guns, triggered by the re-emergence of this ancient threat, is a stark reminder that humanity is not alone in the universe. The solar system, it seems, has always been a battleground, a theater of cosmic conflict between forces that defy human understanding. The guns, with their overwhelming power and advanced technology, are a testament to the desperate lengths to which this lost civilization went to protect not just themselves, but perhaps the entire galaxy from a fate too horrifying to imagine. As this revelation sinks in, humanity is forced to confront a new reality, one in which they are not the masters of their own destiny, but rather the inheritors of a legacy of conflict and survival that stretches back eons. The knowledge that they are not alone, that there are other forces in the universe, both benevolent and malevolent, reshapes their understanding of their place in the cosmos. The guns, once feared and misunderstood, are now seen as guardians, left behind to protect the galaxy from an ancient evil that has not yet been vanquished. But with this knowledge comes a deep sense of unease. The activation of the guns, the firing of their devastating beams into deep space, suggests that the cosmic menace, once thought defeated, may still be out there, lurking in the darkness, waiting for the right moment to strike again. The realization that the guns were part of an ancient defense network raises more questions than answers. What was the true nature of the threat? How close is it to returning? And most importantly, is humanity prepared to face it? The ancient civilization, with all its advancements, could not stop the menace completely. They could only delay it, leaving behind these weapons as a warning and a shield for those who might come after them. As humanity grapples with this newfound knowledge, they are left with a daunting task, preparing for a confrontation with a threat they barely understand, armed with weapons they did not build, and facing an enemy that once brought a mighty civilization to its knees. This revelation is both humbling and terrifying. The universe, once thought to be a vast, empty expanse waiting to be explored, is now understood to be a place filled with dangers that far exceed anything humanity has ever encountered. The stars, once symbols of hope and discovery, now hide secrets that could spell the end of all life. The realization that they are part of a much larger, more dangerous cosmic narrative forces humanity to rethink its priorities, its goals, and its very existence. As humanity stands on the precipice of this new era, they are acutely aware that the mysteries of the universe have only just begun to reveal themselves. The ancient guns, once feared and misunderstood, are now seen as the first step in a journey that will take humanity to the farthest reaches of space and beyond. They are a reminder that the universe is far older, far more complex, and far more dangerous than they could have ever imagined. The discovery of these weapons and the ancient civilization that built them is only the beginning of a much larger story, one that will test humanity's resolve, ingenuity, and courage in ways they have never before experienced. The sudden activation of the colossal guns reveals the terrifying reality that humanity is not alone in the universe, but rather a small part of an ancient and ongoing cosmic struggle. The weapons, remnants of a long-lost civilization's desperate stand against an incomprehensible threat, serve as both a warning and a call to action. As humanity grapples with the revelation that these guns were designed to protect against a cosmic menace, they realize that they have inherited a legacy of both incredible power and profound responsibility. The universe is far more dangerous and mysterious than they ever imagined. And the knowledge of the ancient civilization's last stand forces humanity to confront the unsettling truth that their own survival may now hinge on understanding and preparing for a threat that once brought an advanced species to the brink of extinction. With this new awareness, humanity stands at the dawn of a new era, one where they must not only explore the stars but also defend against the dangers that lurk within them. The story concludes with the sobering realization that the secrets of the ancient guns are just the beginning, and that the true nature of the universe's mysteries and perils is still waiting to be uncovered.